Coach's Corner on Football on 216, my personal favorite segment of the show, where we take out the young, fresh legs and we bring in the old, Razo, experienced legs. And oh boy, the legs on the pitch now, very, very, very much experienced. Although one coach more experienced than the other, just in terms of years. Feels a bit like I'm in Brazil with the one man from Rio de Janeiro and the other from Mamelodi Sundowns. Coach Carreño and Lunga Nobela join me now on Coach's Corner on Football on 216. Hi, Coach. Uyihotman Lunga Nobela makaweni yazibona.
Yeah, no, not sure jalo bro, but hey, results-wise, you'll say otherwise, eh?
Different.
Yeah, no, but we'll discuss that more often when a coach, man. Can you maybe tell us a bit about yourself, Coach Uguti? How did you start? And I saw on your resume, Uguti, you had a special program that you were busy with, but just give us a feel as to how did it all start, man?
Okay, good evening, gentlemen. First of all, thanks for the invite and for me to be part of the show. The way I've started my journey of coaching, it was, it started as a joke, to be honestly, where I was a player, and then it happened. One of my coaches was not around for the young boys. I was playing for the senior team, and then the under-17 were going to the tournament. Then I said to the coach, no, coach, I will go with the boys to go and coach. I was still in the location, in Epukwini, Mabalbiza. Yeah, that's where, And to be honest, after that game that we played, then the coach said to me, hey, you know what, the boys, they were so happy with you. And then I think you must be a player and be a coach at the same time. That's why I started to develop the love of coaching. And luckily, I also got an opportunity to go and coach one of the satellite, Mamelodi Sundowns, satellite in Rustenburg. One of the schools, RCL, they have the partnership with Mamelodi Sundowns. Then I went there, I coached there, and then they gave me an opportunity also to become a sports director. And then I worked there. And then later on, Sundowns started what we call a Sunday program, where we start with the boys from the age of 5 to the age of 13. Then I was part of that program. Then I became a coordinator of that program until the Sundowns had a post for coaches. Then I applied for that coach. Then I went to it. Then I managed to get the coaching job as the under-13 coach there in Mamelodi Sundowns Football Club.
So your coaching experience starts in the year 2017. When Koska Rico Italian with 2009, so 8 years difference, coaches.
No, for sure.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
And as you are saying, no, it's a calling. It's not for everyone. Eh?
Yeah,
it's not for everyone.
Let's speak about that particular calling and yesterday's events in regard to that calling, Coach. One of the most intense under-13 games I've ever seen. I'm sure the viewers at home also loved watching it. You, although played maybe the better game of football, ended up losing the results. Let's get some of your thoughts after that game against Mohamed Bamji and Kaizer Chiefs yesterday.
Yeah, Tando, to be honest, the yesterday game, it was one of the big games that we played and very intense. And after the game, I was even saying to my colleagues, it's like, you can play this kind of games week in, week out, because that's how the boys, they're going to develop. Because whenever the game is intense, then it also, us as coaches, it also challenges us to sit down, analyze the next opponents, because you know that the next opponent, you will find the same intensity. But talking about the yesterday game, to be honestly, the boys did very well. Yes, we created chances, we couldn't convert. And in football, it's like that. If you don't take your chances, then opportunities that you create, then chances is that you're going to lose the game because the opponents don't get a chance and then they use it. And is what we saw yesterday. Chiefs, they've created chances and then they've used the chances. Yes, it was the mistakes there and there, but at the end of the day, you score from the mistakes of the opponents. And that's what happens to us yesterday. But performance-wise, it was a good game. And also thanks to Kaizer Chiefs with the challenge that they gave to us. Because the game of yesterday, it also gives us a homework to say, okay, we played well, but then what's next? Then we need to go and sit down and then think about the next game to say, how are we going to improve from there? But as I said, each and every game, the boys are improving. And that's what we want to see from the boys. It's not only about getting results, but it's also about getting the improvement from the boys.
Coach, we've had a brief chat just before we came on set, and we spoke about the intensity of yesterday's games. But I want you to also dive into your exchange program that you went to in Portugal, just to maybe give the viewers a highlight as to why are you reiterating the fact that when you are playing the level Kaizer Chiefs is playing against. So I want you guys maybe to give us a feel as to why do you crave that kind of intensity?
Yeah, to be honest, Coach, when we went to Portugal, there's a lot of things that we have learned. Number one, something that is very, very important that I've learned, as a coach, you must be able to change your plans within the game. Because sometimes if you will wait to say, I'm going to change everything halftime, you will find yourself 3-4 goals down, and then it will be late. And when we went to Portugal, the intensity that we saw there, the boys that they were playing against Porto, the intensity from the first whistle to the last whistle is the same intensity. And that also built something, and it also showed us as South Africans how far we are. And to be honest, we are not far from Portugal, because the intensity that we were when we played against Porto, we were not far against them, to the point that we played the first game with their satellite, we drew 2-2, and then we went to play with the Porto Academy, where we beat them 6-1. Then that's why you could see that the level of South Africans and the level of the guys from Portugal, we are not far from them. It's just that we are behind with ours, but it's something that GDL is pushing for us to be able to reach those hours that the European teams are they're pushing, And coming to the intensity of yesterday, it's all about how also you prepare the boys, to say, yes, it's a big game, it's a big team, 2 big patches, then you need to fight for the patch. And that game itself, right from Monday when we were training, it was a motivation. We didn't need to sit down and motivate the boys. It was a motivation itself. That's why I'm saying, if we have such games in the GDL week in, week out, boys will always be motivated and will always get this intensity.
Coach Lunga, what is the Sundowns development philosophy? What's the way that the development works at Mamelodi Sundowns? Because we're seeing a good Sundowns development. You think of you first at under-19 level, second place in the Tusky Challenge. So what's been the workings that's made your development so successful? And what advice can you give to a youngster watching this that wants to become a future Brazilian?
Us as Mamelodi Sundowns Academy, what we focus on most, it's a technique. The moment the boy is good technically, then we believe that he can play anywhere. Because we don't think about tactics a lot, because tactics, any coach has his own tactics. But the moment you work on your technique, and then you fine-tune your technique, and then you get everything right in the technique, then it's easy for you to feature in any tactics. Because we believe that technique is able to influence the tactics. And that's why even you can see when Sundowns plays, we are also a position game. And for you to be able to keep the ball, you need to be good technically. Understand, right from the keeper to go forward, then and that is, it comes with a technique. It can be the technique of passing, can be the technique of shooting, can be the technique of hearing, but technique is very, very important, in everything that you do. Tactics are not that important. Yes, tactics, the boys, they need to know about tactics, because at the end of the day, you need to have structure. Structure is, we're talking about tactics. That's a structure. And once you can get that, then it's easy for you to feature in any tactics. And with the boys that they are watching this show, and they're asking themselves, how can I play for Sundowns? Anyone can play for Sundowns, yes, but it also comes with how you prepare yourself. It also comes out, go to umnandi kanjani. Can you feature in the way we are playing? Because what other thing that people they don't think of is, everyone can want to play for Sundowns, and as I said, you can play for Sundowns, but it doesn't mean now when you come to Sundowns, then it can be all the way. You understand? Because along the way, football is changing. But as I said, technique, it's one of the things that we need to focus on most of the time. Even from the young age to go to the big ones. Technique is very important, because a technique, it's a base. of football. You know, it's a base. If you don't have a base, then you can't build a double-story house. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. You're talking about foundations, coach. Eh?
Yes.
No, that's very good, coach. So now, man, Nyaguzwa, man, you are talking about technique. You are talking about tactics. But I just want us to take it back to the special moment. Remember, Tando, our project here at Super Sport Schools is to bring the Ballon d'Or home.
It's the Ballon d'Or.
Yeah,
You're right.
We bring the Ballon d'Or home. So I want to take you back, coach, to when you beat Manchester City. And I'm talking about the Manchester City that won the Premier League yesterday, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. So you were successful in beating them 2-0 in the KDB Cup. Just tell us more about that.
And again, they won the UEFA Under-19.
Nice.
Yes, for our viewers that actually don't know, I think it's important to just tell them.
Yeah.
The Sundowns, of course, as any academy in the country does, goes on these national tours. Last year, then the 15s were at the Kevin De Bruyne Cup, where they went to the quarterfinals, Lunga,
Yes.
after beating Man City 2-0. So just that question that coach asked, yes, see, you beat the citizens.
Yeah, you know, that game, Tando, it was one of the big games. And mind you, when we beat Man City, they only needed a draw for them to go to the quarterfinals, because we lost the first game against Barcelona, and then we went to play with Man City, and they were sitting on 1 point, and then Barcelona was sitting on 4 points. Then they needed a draw to qualify with 2 points. And, you know, it was a motivation to the boys. And that's where we saw that, you know, we're in Tomawifuna, you fight for it. You understand? And that's what the boys, they did. When we went to play against Man City, first, the game plan is it's something that helped us. We planned very well for them. And secondly, the way we played, we wanted to keep the ball more and be patient on the ball, so that we can create those passes, so that we can create those width for us to penetrate. And it helped us very well, because even when Man City, because they were sitting, you understand? They were they came with the mentality that I will just play. We don't need to score. But it was a shock, because even that 2 goals, we scored the 2 goals in the space of 3 minutes for us to win the game.
Yeah.
You understand? And even them, it was a shock for them. And mind you, even when we won that game, immediately after the game, you won't believe. The following day, we were so surprised to see the yellow shirts, asking ourselves where it's coming from. You know, but it was because of the display that we gave. It was because of the boys, the way they were playing, and we showed the identity of Mamelodi Sundowns when we played against them. You know, and everyone there was so impressed about the way the boys have played. And even us as coaches, we've learned a lot from that team. And when we played against Man City, we were asking Barcelona, you won't believe. We came out, we warm up for 25 minutes. Barcelona came and warm up 5 minutes. We said, this one's, it will be just a walk in the park. But it was an opposite. You understand? But then we went to Man City, then we prepared very, very well against Man City.
So basically the preparations played a big role in this one.
The preparation plays the big role, because when we prepared, the analysis that we did, it was for Man City, not for Barcelona. Because
analysis Tando Lalela.
Because the game, because the game, the fixture was saying we are playing Man City. Then the plan, it was we analyzed Man City, and then we watched them playing against Barcelona. But come the tournament, then the fixture changed. Then that's one of the things that killed us, you know, to say, hey, we couldn't analyze Barcelona, and then that's when we couldn't get the results that we wanted against Barcelona.
But we're proud of them, man. We're proud of them.
But coach, just to close the segment, man, maybe you could tell us what to expect from your under-13s, just not only this weekend, for the remainder of the year. We don't know when next we'll have you as a guest. So what can we expect from Abu Lisibe, Abu Chaka, Abu Makurubi, Ntwana? What can we expect?
You know, it's something big that is happening behind the scenes, Tando. And something that maybe I can say is development. It's something that it's very big. You know, it's like building a mall. First, you need to identify the potential space or the potential area. Then it's the same with the under-13s. We identify the potential, then from there we develop. And that's what we are in. And as I said in the beginning, that with our boys, there's a huge improvement since we've started the league. And the way they play, you can see the fighting spirit, the way they express themselves, the creativity amongst the boys, the way they play. And what is coming, it's something that we are still building. It's a continuous process that we are building into these boys. And mind you, we're still having 11-year-olds, still having 12-year-olds. Then it's just a process. You know, yes, the results are not coming for now, but we believe that the results will come. But for the results to come, first we need to master everything that we want to do. Technique. That's something that is very important.
Patience.
I didn't say tactics. Technique. Then that's what is going to give us results.
Technique. Lunga Nobela, thank you so much, man, for coming here on Football on 216, giving us some of the inner workings of Mamelodi Sundowns. And we wish you all the best in your personal coaching career as well as further for Sundowns in the season. The Ballon d'Or is coming closer and closer to South Africa. Coscarino said it, that he's bringing it, and all you heard it. They beat Manchester City. They are on the up, this Mamelodi Sundowns team. But let's hear what Coscarino has been up to in Rio de Janeiro in the next segment.